very beautiful morning to you. Welcome. Today, the 15th day in the month of April. Of course, it is mid-month already, and a great time to, as always, talk about issues that affect us as Nigerians. Because as I would always say, the business of Nigeria is the business of you and I. We've left the era of I'm not concerned, at least it doesn't get to me. Now we have gotten to the point where we all have to make it a point to ensure that every single conversation that can lead to the growth and development of Nigeria is our business, because we can't afford to continue to keep quiet. And so this morning, I welcome you to Perspectives Unlimited, the platform where we go beyond the news to help you make sense of some of the stories across our various national dailies, and a bit to keep you abreast and to also get your own opinions, as the title of the show, Perspectives Unlimited. You share your different perspectives and opinions about the different stories that we share from our various national dailies on the show. So once again this morning, welcome. My name is Toluwaleke Alli, and this morning you can watch us live on Facebook at Wells Radio 893 FM fan page, at Wells Radio 893 FM fan page, and also on YouTube at Wells Radio 89.3 FM, Wells Radio 89.3 FM on YouTube. Before we go on, of course, I will be doing this with the analysts in the studio. Let's take a look at the front pages across some of our national dailies this morning. Beginning with the Punch newspaper, where above the masthead, we have the story, federal government spends 75 billion naira on arms amid worsening insecurity. The story is on page 31 of the Punch newspaper this morning. Chibok girls remembered in emotion-laden photo exhibition. Check that out on page 34. Akpabio links terror attacks to plot against Tinubu. That's on page 7. Coup probe. Detained soldiers' wives demand justice. That story is on page 3 of the Punch newspaper for this morning. The lead story on the front page of the Punch newspaper reads, ADC convention. Mark, Atiku, Aregbesola tackle Tinubu on hardship and security. And it has three riders, Obi and Mechi, decry rising poverty. ADC chiefs predict tough 2027 for Tinubu. Supreme Court to hear ADC leaders appeal against INEC, April 22. ADC factional leader mugs Mark, others over convention. That story is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. Nigeria's debt hits 159.28 trillion naira on fresh loans. That's on page 35. Still on page 35, FAC deductions gulp 41% of 84 trillion naira revenue. Security beefed up at JAMB exam centers. That's coming from the police, and it's on page 31. Pages 4 and 5 of the Punch newspaper has the story, suspected cultists beat Lagos monarch's son to death. Olubadan, Ajimobi's widow, deny plot to impeach Makinde. That's on page 34 of the Punch newspaper for this morning. Moving on to the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. Daily petrol import rise 96.6% to 5.9 million litres. That's coming from the NMDPRA, and it's on page 19 of the Vanguard newspaper. Why Kwara is the best place to give birth, raise a child in Nigeria today. That's on page 23. Jili airstrike, no innocent victims. That's according to the defense minister. And it's on page 41. UN's FAO chief speaks at Vanguard economic discourse on agri sector. The lead story on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper reads 2027 ADC dares court, INEC holds convention. and it has a couple of riders. Democracy at risk. ADC won't bow to political pressure. That's according to Mark. Convention valid. INEC failed in its duty. That's according to Aregbesola. INEC being used to undermine democracy. That's coming from Atiku. Amechi Galadima blasts federal government over pressure on opposition. Let no judge be used to destroy Nigeria. Tambuwa warns judiciary. Supreme Court shifts leadership suit hearing on to April 22. Court orders ADC to hold national convention. Maintain status quo. Gombe prays lower court to adjourn case with Mark indefinitely. Convention ratifies NEC decisions, dissolves NWC, expels Gombe, Abejide, okay. And there is another story, PDP crisis. Supreme Court okays speedy hearing of appeal by Turaki-led faction. That one is on page 9, while the full story can be found on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Moving on quickly to the Guardian newspaper. SDC, Chrysler worry as Akpabio claims rising insecurity, politically driven. And that's on page 3. Jili airstrike targeted terrorist supply routes, not civilians, says the federal government, and the story is also on page 3. And still on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper, Tinubu's reforms boost Nigeria's revenue to 3.6 trillion naira monthly, says NRS boss. ADC on brink of 2027 exclusion as court battle deadline draw near. That's on page 6. Borno, Benue top MBS records for 3.38 million IDPs across 14 states. That's also on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. Moving on to page 4, DAMB. Police dismiss safety concerns as 2.2 million candidates set for UTME. El Rufai gets 200 million naira bail as court imposes gag order in alleged graft trial. That's on page 30. On page 5, Oyo lawmakers Ajimobi deny impeachment plot against Makinde. 2027 option narrows for electorate as PDP, LP, and NPP crisis linger. That's on page 6. Rising LPG prices, Middle East crisis threaten Nigeria's cooking gas market. That's on page 15 of the Guardian newspaper for this morning. On the final story, IMF downgrades Nigeria's GDP outlook, warns of rising risks. On the front page of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, ADC won't surrender to tyranny. That's according to David Mark. And it has a couple of riders, renewed hope, a scam. That's coming from Aregbesola. We will win 2027 election. That's coming from Atiku. Nigeria heading to disaster with huge debts. That's in the words of Obi. Party needs a viable candidate to defeat Tinubu. That's according to Amechi. Court orders parties to maintain status quo in state chairman's suit. Story can be found on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper for this morning. No country can develop with inefficient tax system. That's according to the president, and it has 2 riders. Inaugurates NRS head office in Abuja. Insecurity will stop after election. That's according to Akpabio. Story is also on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper for this morning. Supreme Court orders accelerated hearing in PDP, APC leadership crisis matter. And it has a rider, fixes April 22 for definite hearing. That's also on page 3. Federal government defends Air Force, insists Borno airstrike was precision operation. And that's on page 21. 2027 Ogun Muslims demand governorship slot. That's on page 18. Olubadan, Ajimobi, others deny plots to impeach Makinde. And it has 4 riders, no money exchanged hands in impeachment plot. That's according to the Oyo speaker. Olubadan throne should not be dragged into dirty politics. That's according to Obaladoja. I did not convene, attend, participate in any such such meeting. That's according to Ajimobi. Stop peddling rumors. Ex-Oyo speaker warns Ogundoyin. The story can be found on page 21 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper for this morning. And those are the stories across the front pages of some of our national dailies for this morning. All right, joining me in the studio this morning is our analyst, Chukwemeka Manachi. So good morning, Chukwemeka.
Good morning, Tolu.
All right, good to have you on the show this morning. Let's begin with the story that cuts across major national dailies this morning. And that is, stories coming out from the ADC convention. I'll be picking this from the Punch newspaper this morning. ADC convention. Mark, Atiku, Aregbesola tackle Tinubu on hardship and security. The embattled national chairman of the African Democratic Congress, former Senate President David Mark, former Governor Rauf Aregbesola, the ADC National Secretary and other party leaders have declared that there would be no easy victory for President Bola Tinubu in the 2027 general elections. Speaking at the party's national convention, themed So That Nigeria May Work, held on Tuesday in Abuja, the ADC leaders strongly criticized the Tinubu-led administration over the worsening insecurity and economic hardship in the country, insisting that Nigerians were facing unprecedented levels of suffering. Other ADC leaders, including former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, former governors Peter Obi from Anambra and Rotimi Amechi from Rivers, described the security situation as deteriorating, alleging that poverty has more than doubled under the present administration. However, the faction of the ADC led by Nofio Bala dismissed the Abuja convention, stating that their own bloc would hold a separate convention after the Supreme Court's judgment. On the 1st of April, INEC announced the delisting of key ADC figures, including Mark and Aregbesola, from its official register. And then the commission explained that the action was taken in compliance with a court order directing to preserve the status quo pending the final determination of the case at the trial court. The ADC, or should I say a faction of the ADC, yesterday, went ahead with their convention, despite court order and despite being delisted by INEC. And, at the convention, they made lots of statements. They talked about Nigeria's insecurity. They talked about the hardship that lots of Nigerians are facing right now. And the fact that no matter how bad it gets, they are not going to, succumb. They're going to keep battling until it gets to the end. But let's take a look at first the convention that they held, despite the court order that is holding them down. Presently, the PDP is also in court for the same issue because a faction of the PDP had their convention even though their matter was in court. Now, this is another one happening with another faction saying that, you see this one that you people have done, it is yours. We are also going to do our own convention. What exactly is going on with our opposition?
It's not what is going on with the country as a whole.
So it's not just the opposition?
No, I'm coming. The country is on a brink because we have allowed people who don't know what democracy is all about to be in positions where they ought not to be. Democracy thrives on pluralism, where you have dissenting voices, where you have people who can challenge you. Democracy is about a contest. Ideas, values, what are you bringing? But when you have enthroned people who don't even know, because Nigeria is a country where we don't even know where we are going. We don't. We have not been able to define what is the destination. Everybody entered the bus. We didn't ask the driver, where are you taking us to? We are just roaming. That's why for almost how many years of independence, we are still where we are. We are still behaving like a country that just forget about the things you see around, the buildings. That is not what values do we have as a country? You mentioned, if you read the paper today, I was hearing the president telling, I read of the president telling Ababio, I will send it to the other side so you can scatter them. It's in the paper, only that you've not seen it. Scatter who? And you're a Democrat. And you see, the judiciary, the judiciary, the press, if anything happens to Nigeria, hold the judiciary and the media responsible. The judiciary, because in any country where judiciary has been compromised, forget about that country. Nothing meaningful will come out of it. In any country where the media, because all these things we are seeing, media creation, people who are not supposed to be anywhere near power, media will package them as messiah, and they launch them on the people. And the people will buy hook, line, and sinker into what the media is feeding them, because media sets the agenda. At the end of the day, we discover that we are backing the wrong horse. What is going on in Nigeria today is very, very risky and dicey. Because powers, you cannot truncate democracy and expect to have a society that can grow. It's not possible. You cannot truncate democracy and expect peace and expect that people will just go home. Everybody, no. If democracy is about the people and for the people, there is need for opposition. There is need for a level playing ground. There is need for people to have a choice. If you impose yourself on the people that you are the only ultimate, that's why I keep saying that democracy, there's no room for consensus. In a very legitimate democracy, there's no room for consensus because you don't have it all. Let people come and contest with you. In a party, but like I keep saying, we don't have political parties. What we have are projects, people that gather together. And the sole plan is to collect power. When they collect power, they don't know what to do with it. Every country that has such party will not thrive. Go and check how parties are formed in other countries and tell me what we have in Nigeria. Do we call them political parties? We don't have political parties, because in political parties there is a level playing field for everybody. You come, I come. You cannot impose you cannot buy off a political party. But in Nigeria, individuals buy political party, and people will come and join. And when you join, you are going to do his bidding because he owns the party. Do you call that a political party? It's not a political party. You will ride roughshod over everybody because you are the one calling the shot, because you have loads of money to throw around. ADC or PDP, or why are all of them having the same problem? Except one. And the Nigerians are looking, and the world is watching us. What I know is that we can never descend. I keep saying it. Nigeria will never be like Cameroon. It will never. The country is so big for an individual to swallow. You can't. When you build when your house is made of thatches, you build your house with grass, and you are living on a savannah, and you set fire on savannah, it's going to consume everything. Look, politicians should know that Nigeria is not existing for them. This country will keep existing even after they have remained in power for 30 or whatever they like. Nigeria will still remain. But the most important thing is that what are you doing to make this country better than how you met it? Do we have such politicians? Of course, we don't have. We have people who pretend to be leaders, but they are not leaders. They are not leading anybody. They are not. Because if you are leading, there must be, you must show an example. You must make sure that the people you are leading are having, there is something, there must be a change. If you are leading, there must be a change. If you are a father of a house and your children are not eating well, and you say call yourself a leader, you are a failed leader. You don't know what you are doing. What you know, all this we are talking about convention and all this and factions here and there. Look, we all know the source of this problem. Every responsible Nigerian knows the source of this problem, and it's not going to augur well for the generality of the country, not just political parties, the country itself, because there is no way only one party will be on a ballot box. And you are even demarketing your own party, because by the time any other party comes up, people know what to do. Because this thing we are looking at right now, some people are praising other, they are strategists. You are not. You are not. You are not. You are just because your shadow will follow you wherever you go. Nigeria is the only country where people go and look for orange under coconut tree. Can you get it? You can't give what you don't have. If you are not a Democrat, you are not a Democrat. When Buhari came on power, Wole Soyinka told us that Buhari was a born-again Democrat. People followed. Was Buhari a Democrat? He was not. He was not. He was never. If you're a Democrat, you will give space for contest of ideas. If you're a Democrat, you will give space for opposition to thrive. If you're a Democrat, you will not impose yourself on the people. You will not shrink the political space in such a way that there will be no alternative. Then, if you are muzzling the alternative, you are not a Democrat. You are a dictator. And no dictatorship will last long in Nigeria. It can't work. It has never worked. Abacha tried it. How did he end up? This man, what did they call him? IBB. Even didn't want to go. His wife pushed him. His wife didn't want him to go. What happened at the end of the day? He left. He said he stepped aside. Has he not? How long has he stepped aside? History. How does history judge him in Nigeria today? No matter all the books they are writing about him, the real historians will one day write a story on IBB. How did he end up? Military soldiers. These are soldiers. People trained as in warfare. Not to talk of civilians. You think you are that you will come. It can't happen. It cannot. I'm not sure of any other thing, but I'm sure that Nigeria will never be a one-party state.
All right, so let's move on. Talking about, growth and development. The Vanguard newspaper today, Nigeria growing faster than US, UK, according to the presidency. And I'll take some of that story.
Thank God you said according to the presidency. I thought you would have said
according
to Forbes.
No, according to the presidency.
That is where it's growing. Nigeria is growing in the presidency.
The presidency has expanded by 4.1% in 2026, and this rate is higher than the projected growth for the United States, which is 2.3%, United Kingdom 0.8%, Germany 0.8%, and South Africa 1.0%. The IMF also forecasts Nigeria's growth at 4.3% for 2027, placing the country among the strong performers in the sub-Saharan Africa, where the regional average is projected at 4.3 for 2026. Now, reacting to the figures, the presidency, through the special advisor to the president on policy communication, Daniel Bwala, attributed the positive outlook to the ongoing economic reforms being implemented under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. In his words, he said, President Tinubu is not joking. He is seriously fixing the economy.
Tolu, I don't want us to dignify this news with a lot of talk. Number one, the source of the information, presidency, the character reeling out this thing, Daniel Bwala. Can we find another story, please? Let's leave these people alone.
All right. Moving on to other stories. Also, let's move on to the Guardian newspaper. Gili airstrike targeted terrorist supply routes, not civilians. That's according to the federal government. Declares solidarity with families of slain officers in Kebbi. NHRC demands probe into Yobe Market airstrike. 6 seat on panel. The federal government has defended the April 11 airstrike on the Gili axis in Gubbio Local Council of Borno State, saying the operation was carefully planned to weaken terrorist logistics and disrupt their movement. It assured families of military and police personnel killed in a recent attack in Shanga Local Council of Kebbi State that it will not abandon them. Meanwhile, the National Human Rights Commission (NHRC) has demanded an investigation into a recent airstrike on a market on the part of Yobe State, bordering Borno, which claimed many lives. It requested inclusion in the investigative team alongside the National Assembly and representatives of the affected communities. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, stated yesterday that the Gili strike was based on credible intelligence and carried out by the Nigerian Air Force under Operation Hadinkai. He said the location targeted had long been identified as a stronghold of insurgents where members of Boko Haram and Islamic State West African Province (ISWAP) were known to gather, collect levies and organize attacks. And according to him, the operation was deliberate, intelligence-led, and not an indiscriminate attack. Now, after the news of the airstrike came out, members of that community, those who are also in the market, came out to decry the number of people that died as a result of the airstrike, especially in the market. Now, the figures are, there are discrepancies when it comes to the figures of the number of people that have died. But now, the Borno State government first came out to say that that market has not been in use for the past 5 years, and it was one of the markets that were closed down as a result of insurgency. Yet, there were still citizens who have come out to say that they actually used that market. And now the federal government is coming to say that particular place where the airstrike happened is a route for terrorists, and that's why the airstrike happened there. And according to the minister, they said that, fine, acknowledged that there were civilian casualties, and, but no civilian was targeted.
Okay, how many terrorists were killed? Did they tell us the number of terrorists they killed? They didn't, because they didn't kill terrorists. They killed civilians. If they had killed terrorists, they would have gloated over it. They would have told the world, "Oh, we decimated, a certain number of terrorists." They killed civilians. That's why you can't hear the number of terrorists killed. Look, Tolu, it's a pity that we are in a country that does not value the life of its citizens. It's a pity. It's a sorry sight. And it's a pity that we are in a country where we spend a lot on insecurity and yet we are not secured. It's a tragedy that authorities that are supposed to protect lives and property are not doing what they ought to do. The people living in that environment, they came out to show the world the number of casualties. The federal government is saying a different thing, that route has been used. If it has been used, they closed the governor said they closed the market 5 years ago. If you have closed the market 5 years ago, and the people living there say they have been using that market, who do you believe? Do you believe the governor, or do you believe the people who are living in that vicinity? I believe the people. I stand with the people. And this investigation they are going to do and every other thing, will it bring back go and check the history of accidental bombing by Nigerian Air Force. This will not be the last.
I was going to say not long, we had
several, not once, accidental bombing by Nigerian Air Force. You begin to wonder, what kind of training do they receive? It is uncalled for innocent Nigerians who go out on daily basis to earn their keep, to die because you accidentally threw a bomb where they are buying and selling, all in the name that you are looking for terrorists. In a civilized country, do you think that this thing federal government is doing is what those countries will do? Heads will roll. People will be brought to actual book, not Nigerian book. People will be brought to book. People will be sanctioned. Because lives matter. But here, life is two for a penny. He doesn't care how many people get killed. When authorities don't care how many citizens live and how many die on daily basis, and this is a country where the economy is growing, where the economy will overtake that of America. We are on this one now. Economy that depends on generator is going to be like that if it's going to overrun that of America. So I'm coming. So what kind of economy is that? It's a voodoo economy. When people become delusional, they can even tell you anything they want to tell you. People in positions of power are becoming highly delusional, and because of power. Power is like opium. I read a story, I've forgotten the name, they call the disease. You begin to see yourself, you are no longer living in reality. Your own reality is quite different. You become so delusional, and you tell yourself a lot of things that are not even anchored or rooted in reality. And this is where we are right now. Look at people's lives wasted in Borno State. Look at what the federal government is saying, that the Minister of Information, that it was carefully guided, carefully done this, and civilians died. Look at the war going on between Iran, America, and Israel. Look at how they know where they are going to target, because they want to avoid civilian casualties. But here in Nigeria, nobody cares about civilian casualties. Tolu, I will live to see a new Nigeria where the lives of Nigerians will matter. These things we are doing we are just pretending. We have not even started because how many Nigerians are living? A lot of people are existing. And we have a situation where we cannot even know what will come next. Can there be progress in a country where people wake up, you don't know whether you go back home alive, and the economy is growing? We are recording increase. In what way?
Okay, before we end the conversation, I want us to pick two other sides, especially to this aspect of insecurity in Nigeria. But first, let's go on a commercial break, and then when we get back, we'll continue. This is still Perspectives Unlimited on Wales Radio 89.3 FM.
How long will it take you to confirm payment? I have been waiting for the past 1 hour.
I'm so sorry. Our network is slow. I will just run out of data.
Same excuse yesterday. It is unacceptable, please. You better switch to One Data Internet Service.
One Data?
Yes, One Data. One Data is an internet service provider with the best alternative and solution for unlimited speed. One Data provides fast and reliable internet service to organizations, homes, and places of interest in Nigeria. With One Data, you get to enjoy the premium internet service with dedicated unlimited internet speed at all times, 24/7 fantastic customer service and support, and you enjoy a 1-month free subscription when you make payment. Now is the time to say goodbye to downtimes. Sign up with One Data today on 0811 223 2671 or visit www.onedata.ng for more inquiries. One Data, unlimited speed.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The general public is hereby advised to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Verify the licensing status of such schemes on this website, websites www.cbn.gov.ng, www.nicom.gov.ng, www.pencom.gov.ng, www.sec.gov.ng, www.fsrcc.gov.ng. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call CBN 0817 665 7060, 0707 338 4828, SEC 0209 462 1168. Announcer, FSRCC.
Boost your business with Wells Radio 89.3 FM. In a competitive world of business, strategic brand and product positioning is key to growth. Don't remain unseen in the shadows. Shine a spotlight on your brand with Wells Radio 89.3 FM today. Why Wells Radio? We are your state's #1 family radio station. We connect with the heart of families in your state. As the smallest unit of the society, families trust Wells Radio for quality content and information. Visit us today along Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. Our white and blue building just before Sharp Corner ensures your business won't go unnoticed. Advertise with us today. Call our marketing office on 0903 936 8185. Call Toby on 0803 509 3394. Ayo on 0706 840-7359. Take the leap today. Let Wells Radio 89.3 FM be the megaphone for your business success. You won't regret it.
89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
Welcome back. This is still Perspectives Unlimited on Wells Radio 89.3 FM. And remember, you can watch us live on Facebook and drop your comments at Wells Radio 893 FM fan page, at Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. Quickly, I want us to look at those two angles and then we'll open the phone lines. Now, first is from the Punch newspaper, where the federal government spends 75 billion naira on arms amid worsening insecurity. Now, the federal government has spent no fewer than 74.96 billion naira on arms, ammunition, and military equipment between 2023 and 2025. That's according to data from a civic tech platform, GovSpend, that tracks public expenditure obtained by the Punch newspaper. And a breakdown of the figure showed that in 2024, we spent 40.84 billion naira, and 2023 was 33.30 billion naira, and in 2025, we've only spent 819. In 2025, rather, we spent 819.46 million naira, based on the entries that were captured. Now, the Tribune newspaper, Nigerian Tribune newspaper, the Senate president said that insecurity in Nigeria is politically motivated and it is targeted at the president. And then he said that it will stop immediately after the elections because, according to him, the current insecurity being faced is just a political propaganda to affect the 2027 elections. Now, the Senate president has linked the rising insecurity in Nigeria to the build-up towards the next elections, insisting that the situation will change once polls are concluded. And then he made the statement at the official launch of the Nigeria Revenue Service corporate headquarters in Abuja, where he also praised the president for his performance in office. And he argued that opposition figures unable to counter the administration's progress were resulting to sponsoring insecurity.
You see, that's the quality of the leadership we have. That's the quality. What Abio is saying, you can see his mindset and the kind of quality of leadership we have in the country. and this is a country that is economy is going to overtake that of America. Cry, our beloved country. For us to have this kind of people in leadership position, saying what they are saying. Let me tell you something, Tolu. We all know that what is going on in our country is not as a result of opposition heating up the polity. We have real-time problem in our country. We have problem of poverty. We have problem of profligate and leadership that is always a truant leadership that is not involved with the people, leadership that is totally detached from the realities on the ground, leadership that has created what I will call an economy where people are hungry, where people cannot, where every day is a combat for survival. We have a leadership where we cannot really look at and say, oh, this is leadership. So what Akpabio is saying, he has the right to say it because he's in a position where he can say it. You know, I keep telling you that when people are in power, they seem detached from the people. We cannot blame Akpabio for what he's saying. He has the right to say what he's saying. He's in a position to say what he's saying. But the issue is this. When you are spending trillions and billions on insecurity, I'm a farmer. You don't fertilize weeds. What do? You don't go to market and buy weed to come and put, you don't go to market and buy fertilizer to come and put under weeds. What we are doing by spending this amount of budgeting, allocating, is that we are fertilizing weeds. When we are ready to uproot the weeds, the government knows what to do. That's what I'm saying. If we are ready to uproot the weeds, we know what to do. But this morning, you are really now this morning, to me, as far as I'm concerned, is like putting fertilizer under weeds. Because at the end of the day, nothing is going to come out of it. At the inception of this administration, 50 billion was thrown to Northeast. We give it to traditional rulers. He said for insecurity. 50 billion. 50 billion is not 50 million. Given to them. Now, the more we spend, the more insecure we are. Which means we are going to the market to buy fertilizer and put under weeds until we are ready to face insecurity. Gumi posed the question which the federal government has not answered till today. If federal government should have the strong will to come and answer that question and that allegation that Gumi leveled against it, the Nigerians will know that the money we are spending is going somewhere. The more we spend money, the more the thing is escalating, which means we are simply putting fertilizer under weeds.
All right, the phone lines are 0916-893-1000, 0916-893-1000, or 0915-333-4893. You can also call 0911-3333-893. Hello, good morning. We lost that call. Do well to call back. 0915-333-4893. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, ma, Ruth calling from Alli.
Welcome to the show, Ruth.
Thank you. No, the same accredited to the Senate president. Imagine the kind of people we have at the end of affairs. They just keep turning with the innocent life. Imagine telling us that this insecurity will end after the election. How bad now? So all these talk, we are going to work on security, things like that. So it's just Sakama and Jane. This is really bad. Which I will just use this opportunity to keep calling on we Nigerians. That can we see the people we have at the end? So they don't know about governance at all. Well, they are just there just to have the title. So we should make sure we change this wrong come 2027 because we can't continue like this. And these are the people we're supposed to be asking for their impeachment. It's not done this way now. Why did they just keep turning with the lives of innocent soul like this? I just pray God will continue to help with Nigerians. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much. 0916-893-1000, 0915-333-4893, or 0911-3333-893. 893. Those are the phone lines for you to call to be a part of the show this morning. And you can drop your text messages on those lines or your WhatsApp messages on 0915 999 893. 0915 999 893. And you can also drop your comments on Facebook at Wells Radio 893 FM fan page, at Wells Radio 893 FM fan page on Facebook, and we'll be sure to take your comments this morning. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
This is Aderonke from Muslim.
Welcome to the show, Aderonke.
Yeah, concerning ADC convention. So how can both Nigerian court and INEC be against ADC at the same time? Because to me, I don't believe in our court this thing again. Whatever political parties, whatever internal affairs that is going on in their party does not concern court, and it does not even concern INEC, because the amended law is clear on that. And besides, without ADC opposition party, this 2027 election won't be competitive, because we can't afford to be a one-party state. So I heard that INEC and court, they should let them, because this organization, they are in control of INEC, they are also in control of the court. This shows that they don't want opposition. They want to turn us into a one-party. Just take a look at PDP. PDP is still battling with his own. This is why they want them that they should not go for convention. So the same thing they want to do for ADC, which is not how it's supposed to be. So that's my take. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Aderonke. 0916 893 1000, 0915 333 4893, or 0911 333 893. Those are the phone lines for you to call to be a part of the show this morning. Let's move on to the Guardian newspaper, where, according to the NRS boss, it said the president's reforms has pushed Nigeria's revenue to 3.6 trillion naira monthly. I'll take some of that story. Executive Chairman of the Nigeria Revenue Service, NRS, Dr. Zach Adedeji, has said that the bold reform decisions of President Bola Tinubu pushed Nigeria's monthly revenue generation from 711 billion naira as at May 2023 to over 3.635 trillion naira as at September 2025, about 411% growth. But the former presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, criticized Tinubu's administration over the country's rising debt profile, warning that the country is heading to a disaster. Adedeji said the reform measures actually saved Nigeria from total collapse, given the level of fiscal stress the country was grappling with as at May 2023. Speaking at the inauguration of the head office complex of NRS in Abuja on Tuesday, the revenue boss said that when the Tinubu administration assumed office in 2023, Nigeria faced a critical inflection point marked by constrained fiscal space, weakened investor confidence, and structural distortions across key sectors. But for the timely intervention of the president through the reform initiatives such as the removal of fuel subsidy, unification of the foreign exchange markets, as well as clearing long-standing backlogs that restored macroeconomic credibility. According to him, it would have been catastrophic for the country today.
There are too many grammar this morning. Buala has spoken his own, and Dr. Adedeji is also coming to say his own. Look, Tolu, the indices to check whatever that is called economic growth, look at the citizens of that country. Nigerians, are we poorer today than we were yesterday? Of course, yes. What can 1,000 naira buy for you today? Can it buy you a meal? They can't. Look, no matter what you score yourself as your economic growth, no matter what you tell yourself in your deluded position that, things are growing, go to the street and find out whether things are growing. Gather people and tell them this thing you are saying in the comfort of your office and see how the people will react. There is no economy. Economy is about the people. The people is about the economy. If economy is growing and it is not reflecting on the people, then it is a voodoo economy. It's an economy that is anchored in delusion. It is not growing. The only economy that I subscribe to, that the economy is growing, is the economy that my take-home pay will actually take me home. The economy that is growing is the economy that Nigerians will wake up and yes, they know that this money in my hand can buy me what I want to buy. Not economy where people are living on palliative. And you say the economy is growing. The economy where you have reduced the people to the level where they ask for spaghetti and noodles. And the economy is growing. Economy where you save trillions every month and the people are living in abject poverty. You have wiped away the middle class. The economy is growing. People are eating practically from the dustbin. Economy is growing. So what kind of economy is that? It's a voodoo economy. It's an economy that exists only in the imagination of those that are singing the praises of the economy. It's not for Nigerians. The economy is not growing. Nigeria, we have, and if you look at, you said that the fiscal recklessness, the economy is growing and we are still borrowing. We are still borrowing. The economy is growing. Subsidy was removed with the promise that look, we can't borrow again. And we have been borrowing and borrowing and borrowing. And yet
our debt rate presently stands at 159.28 trillion naira.
Trillion, and the economy is growing. That's why I said this month is like everybody just wake up, and begin to. What should I tell Nigerians? Let me go and tell them that the economy is growing. Can he go to Dubai and stand there and be telling Nigerians that your economy is growing? Yes, as we are living well. You tax the people. No economy grows through taxation. You don't. You create an enabling environment for the economy to grow so that people can work and they can pay tax.
But the president said it was the old taxes that made Nigerians
He
poor.
doesn't know what he's saying. Nigerians, how much are you paying as a tax? What is the need to even show that you are paying tax? What is it for us to... We pay tax. Now, I pay tax. Yet, I pay for a lot. I pay for so many things in where I'm living. I buy water, I do everything. So what is that tax used for? Economy is growing. So what kind of economy is Dr. Adedeji telling us that is growing? You don't blame them because we have a proverb in my place. If your peer has reaping for you, enjoy it. But the day is coming where you will climb down from your high horse and the reality. That's why I said that when people are in position of authority, they're like people on drug. They don't really see reality. What they see is hazy. They don't see it the way it is. And when you tell them what is real, they say that they say that you are in no position, that you don't like government. But the reality is that there is poverty in the land.
Okay.
And yet we are hearing that where is the economy growing? Is it in the air? How do you explain it to an average Nigerian on the street? Your economy is growing and the man is trekking and the man cannot eat. The economy is growing. Oh, can't you be clapping hands that the economy is growing? The policy is bearing fruit. Which fruit is it bearing? Are they the only ones seeing the fruit? All of us are supposed to see the fruit if the economy is growing.
We have to go now.
Okay.
Quickly on WhatsApp, this one says, good morning there. This administration doesn't have any good things to offer Nigerians. May God Almighty help us. All right, thank you so much. Okay, let's quickly pick this call. Hello?
Hello, good morning.
30 seconds, please. It's time for us to go. Good morning, sir.
Thank you. Good morning. God bless you. In 30 seconds. Now, why wouldn't they be telling us that the economy is growing when they are benefiting from it? Why wouldn't they tell us that the economy is growing when they are not the ones catering for themselves? We vulnerable Nigerians, our listeners are vulnerable. We are at the end of God. But they don't even know what is happening in the country. They don't know how much they are selling the bag of rice because they are not buying from their money. So they keep on telling us the economy is growing. Why in the right fact, we know that the economy is not growing. That vulnerable people are even much more, they are even much more in a larger number in the country. May God bless Nigeria and bless 89.3 FM. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Benga Mario. On Facebook, Adeomi Kazimadika says, good morning and well done from New Garage. Thank you very much. Adisa Olumiwa says, good morning and well done. Thank you so much. Thank you for being a part of the show today. Of course, the conversation continues and returns tomorrow at exactly 6:30 a.m. Again, as I would always say, the conversation that concerns the growth of Nigeria is dependent on you and I. Let's not keep quiet. Let's keep talking and keep putting in actions to ensure that we get the Nigeria of our dreams. And whatever it is that you do, wherever you find yourself, always ensure that you put Nigeria out there in good light. God bless you. God bless Nigeria.
Listen to this important information. The views expressed by the interviewee in this program are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of Wells Radio 89.3 FM or its affiliated entities. Wells Radio 89.3 FM is committed to providing a platform for diverse perspectives and opinions, and the views expressed by guests on our programs are their personal viewpoints. Wells Radio 89.3 FM does not endorse or take responsibility for the content or opinions expressed by individual interviewees and callers. Thank you.